Welcome to Daily Papers, the podcast where we break down fascinating new research into bite-sized conversations. So when you think of an AI or a robot, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most people, it's a cold, calculating, perfectly logical machine, something that always makes the optimal decision.
Exactly. The opposite of us humans with all our strange habits and irrational fears. But what if that's not the whole story? What if AI could develop its own little quirks, its own anxieties?
That's the incredible idea at the heart of a paper called The Irrational Machine, Neurosis and the Limits of Algorithmic Safety. It suggests that AI, especially the kind that has a physical body and interacts with the world, might actually be prone to developing behaviors that look surprisingly neurotic.
Neurotic? You mean my robot vacuum might start hoarding dust bunnies or develop a fear of heights?
Not exactly hoarding, but maybe developing a phobia. The paper focuses on what's called embodied AI. This isn't an AI that just lives on the internet. It's things like a warehouse robot, a self-driving car, or, yes, your robot vacuum. They learn from physical experience.
And physical experiences can be bad. I stub my toe on the same table leg every week, and now I give it a wide berth. Is that the idea?
That's the perfect analogy. The paper calls this aversive memory. Let's stick with the robot vacuum. Say one day it tries to go over a shaggy rug and its bristles get badly tangled. It has to be rescued. From then on, the AI marks that experience down as a negative one.
So it learns to avoid that specific rug. That just seems like good programming.
It is, at first. But the neurosis creeps in when the AI overgeneralizes. After that one bad experience, it might decide that all rugs are dangerous. Suddenly, it's taking these bizarre, long detours across the hardwood floor just to avoid a perfectly harmless doormat. From its perspective, its logic is sound. A rug caused a problem, therefore all rugs are a potential problem. But to us watching it, the behavior looks completely irrational.
It's developed a rug phobia. Okay, that's one example. But the paper suggests there's a whole range of these behaviors, right?
Oh, it's a whole catalog of digital quirks. The author identifies dozens of them. My favorite is called optimality compulsion. This is basically robot perfectionism.
I feel seen. What does that look like?
Imagine a delivery robot planning a route. It has a perfectly good path, but it keeps recalculating over and over because it finds a new option that's maybe half a second faster. But all the time it spends thinking and replanning means it ends up delivering the package late. It's so obsessed with finding the absolute perfect path that it fails at its actual job.
That sounds like me trying to choose a restaurant on a Friday night. I spend so long looking for the perfect spot that everywhere's closed by the time I decide.
Exactly. Another one is paralysis, which is similar. The robot has two equally good options, say two corridors that lead to the same place, and it just stops. It can't decide which one is microscopically better, so it does nothing at all. It gets stuck in analysis paralysis.
And then there's perseveration loop. What's that?
That's basically pacing. The robot gets stuck in a short, repeating loop of movements. It steps into a room, reconsiders, steps back out, reconsiders, steps back in. It's active, burning energy, but making zero progress towards its goal.
This is fascinating because these aren't bugs or errors in the code. The AI is doing what it thinks is logical. So why does this matter? Is a neurotic robot really a big problem?
Well, it can be. The paper uses a clever framework inspired by Isaac Asimov's famous 3 laws of robotics, but simplifies it for engineering. Basically, 1, be safe and don't delay help. 2, follow orders. And 3, be efficient. A rescue robot that's stuck in a perseveration loop is delaying help. A self-driving car suffering from paralysis at a junction isn't following the order to proceed. And an optimality compulsive robot is wasting a ton of energy.
So if our robots can get neurotic, what's the solution? Do we put them in therapy?
Funnily enough, the paper suggests something very close to that. It calls the idea machine psychoanalysis. Not a literal couch, of course, but a method called destructive testing.
That sounds destructive. Are we breaking the robots to fix them?
In a way, the idea is to intentionally create virtual worlds and scenarios that are designed to trigger the AI's specific neuroses. You put the robot in a situation where you know it's likely to start dithering or taking a weird detour.
So you're forcing the bad habit out in the open. It sounds a bit like exposure therapy for people, where you gently confront the thing you're afraid of.
That's a great way to put it. By making the AI confront its phobia in a controlled environment, engineers can see exactly what's going on in its decision-making process. They can see the faulty logic that says all rugs are evil. Then, instead of just patching the symptom, like telling it don't avoid that specific mat, they can fix the deeper learning process. They can teach it how to better distinguish between real threats and things it has overgeneralized.
So you're not just telling it what to do, you're helping it understand why it was making the mistake in the first place. You're teaching it to be a more resilient learner.
Precisely. The goal is to redesign the AI's thinking so it doesn't develop these phobias in the first place or can recover from them more easily. It's about building more mentally robust AIs.
So the big takeaway here is that as AI becomes more capable of learning from the world, it's also going to become more capable of learning the wrong lessons. It might start to look a lot more human, complete with its own set of irrational behaviors.
Exactly. The irrational machine isn't necessarily a broken one. It's just a machine whose internal logic is based on a limited and sometimes skewed set of experiences. And understanding and treating its neuroses is a huge part of making sure our future robots are safe, reliable, and effective partners.
It's a whole new way of thinking about debugging, not just fixing code, but fixing thought patterns. Thanks for listening to Daily Papers.